Okay, so we're going over Algebra 2 test 2.2 Unit 4. Make sure you're on the right test. This is number 1. Simplify the algebraic expression 5 times the quantity of x minus 2 plus 2 times the quantity of 3x squared minus 12x plus 12. So you distribute your 5 and you get 5x minus 10. Then you distribute your 2 and you keep this plus sign, it just comes down. So plus 6x squared minus 24x plus 24. And you just combine like terms. So this one doesn't have a term like it, so and we always usually put the higher exponent first. And then 24 negative 24x and 5x is negative 19x. Because negative 24 plus 5 is negative 19. And then 24 minus 10 would be 14. So your answer is D. Number 2. Which of the following expressions represents the product? This means multiply. It's the answer of a multiplication problem. So multiply. So we're going to multiply. So I'm going to put a little dot to mean multiply. 3 less than twice x. Well, think about this. If I said 3 less than 10, 3 less than 10 would be 10 minus 3. But it's not 3 less than 10. It's 3 less than 2 times x, or twice x. So instead of 10, twice x. 3 less than that would be minus 3, not 3 minus 2x. So we got 2x minus 3 times 2 more than the quantity of 3 times x. So 2 more than the quantity of 3 times x was 3x plus 2, or 2 plus 3x. It doesn't really matter with addition which way you do it. With subtraction it matters. Because 10 minus 3 is 7, 3 minus 10 is negative 7. You can't switch them. So it had to be 3 less than 2x, but this one could be 2 plus 3x or 3x plus 2. It doesn't matter. I just like to put the x first because it looks normal that way to me. Okay, so then you do mailman. So the mailman has to go to every house. This is the mailman. He has to go to every house. So 6x squared plus 4x. And then think of this guy as the paperman. He's got to go to every house. So minus 9x minus 6. And then combine these like terms and you get negative 5x, so 6x squared minus 5x minus 6. J. Which polynomial represents this? The easiest way to keep this organized is to make a box, I would like to see you get used to distributing. So you have this mailman goes to every house. So 6x cubed minus 15x squared. And then the paperman goes to every house, so plus 2x squared minus 5x. And then this last guy, I don't know what you want to call him. He can be the garbage man. I don't know. He has to go to every house, so minus 8x plus 20. Negative times a negative is a positive. Now combine all your like terms. So there's a like term, negative 13x squared. There's another like term, negative 13x. So hopefully you can see, bring down the plus 20, bring down the 6x cubed, and the answer is B. 4. One factor of x squared minus 2x minus 24 is Well, you got to find both factors. So you go over here, do the x game. And then go over here, we got a equals 1, b equals -2, and c equals -24. So a times c is -24, and b is -2. So you make yourself a little factor tree. We got 1 and 24. We got 2 and 12. We got 3 and 8. We got 4 and 6. Now if you notice, one of them has to be negative and it has to equal -2, so it has to be -6 and +4. And then put your x on there, put your x on there, and we're just going to write bx as 4x minus 6x. Because 4x minus 6x is -2x. Bring down your x squared. So positive 4x, positive, so I put plus. And then just bring down your -24. So then split the middle. Take out an x, because there's an x in common. That's the only thing in common. You get x plus 4. And then you always take out, bring down that negative sign. You're always going to take out a negative. That's going to be -6 is your greatest common factor. Because -6 goes into -6. -6 goes into -24. So it's going to be x. Wait, -6 is your greatest common factor. X plus 4. So then we have x plus 4 in common. Take out an x plus 4. And what do we have left? X minus 6. So x plus 4 is not on the list. So x minus 6 is on the list. Next page. What are the factors of this one? So this one is factor by grouping. Split the middle. Take out an x squared. Because there's two x's in common here. If you can't see it, write it out. X times x times x. That's 3 x's. And then this is 2 x's. How many do they have in common? 2. So you got to take out 2. So you got x squared. We divide it by x squared. You get x minus the x squareds cancel. 4. Again, bring down the minus sign. And they have 9 goes into both 9 and 36. So we're going to divide by -9. It's just x. Divide by -9. It's -4. What do they have in common? X minus 4. What's left? X squared minus 9. This is a -4. But x squared is a perfect square, and 9 is a perfect square. So we need to use a plus b and a minus b. Well, how do we find our a and our b? You square root the a first term, you square root the second term. So then it's x plus 3, x minus 3. And then you bring down your x minus 4. And as you can see, it's c. Most people forgot to do their difference of squares, and they just chose b because it looked the most like the right answer. 6. Which expression shows the complete factorization of 12x squared minus 147? We did this one as a warm-up in class last week on Friday, I believe it was. So you always try GCF first, and if you try some numbers, one thing you might not know is if you add 7 plus 4 plus 1, it's 12, and 12 is divisible by 3, so 147 is divisible by 3. That's just a little 3 rule that only works with 3. So my GCF is 3, and then I get 4x squared minus 49. And again, 4x squared minus 49. 4x squared is the perfect square. 49 is the perfect square. Find your a. We're taking the square root. And you get 2x. Find your b. Square root. You get 7. So then our formula is right up there above in number 5, a plus b, a minus b. So we're going to have 3 as our GCF, and then we're going to have 2x plus 7 and 2x minus 7. And that's J. Number 7, what are the x-intercepts or solutions of the graph? Well, remember, you got x squared plus x minus 12, and x-intercepts means solutions or solve. And so, whenever you're solving, this has to equal 0, and then you just have to factor it. So we're going to do the x game. A is 1 times negative 12 is negative 12. B is 1. So it's obviously going to be 4, or let's say 3, and 4, and then 3 has to be negative. So we're going to break this apart as negative 3x plus 4x. Bring down the x squared. Bring down the negative 12. Split the middle. Take out the x. Take out 4. Take out just means your GCF is 4. When I say take out, I just mean factor it out. GCF minus 3. So my factors are x minus 3 and what's left? X plus 4. Now set your factors equal to 0. X plus 4 equals 0. Minus 4 to both sides. X equals negative 4. So it has to be B. Okay, which equation is the parent function of the graph represented below? If you had your interactive notebook, you should have just had to look up that this is the quadratic x squared function. Number 9, what is the domain of the function? Domain, what's your, domain means x, and it says what's your smallest x to your largest x. On this graph. So if you draw a line right here, and you draw a line right here, my smallest x is 0, and it's not included because it's an open circle. And your smallest, or largest x is 5, and it is included because it's a closed circle. Now if you wrote it as an inequality, it would look like this. And that's it. Okay, now we're factoring. Guess what? X game. A is 1, B is negative 1, and C is negative 6. And 1, oh, silly me. See that? Just say no, you didn't see that. Negative 1, and then negative 6 goes up here. And so I believe my factors, okay, you can just make a factor tree, or factor list, I should say, factor table. 2 and 3. But one of them has to be negative, and it has to be negative 3. So you take x squared, bring it down, plus 2x minus 3x minus 6. You're just breaking apart that bx. Then you're going to split the middle. Factor out an x. Take out a -3. And you get x plus 2. What do they have in common? X plus 2. What's left? X minus 3. I'm just going to put a little arrow pointing up there instead of writing that out. Number 11. Okay, split the middle. What can we take out? First you should check GCF, but there is no GCF because 5 is causing a little problem. But there is a GCF on the left and there is a GCF on the right, but there's not a GCF in all 4. So we're going to take out a 2x squared. All but one x will cancel. Divide by 2x squared. You get -4. And let's take out a 5. So what do they have in common? X minus 4. What's left? 2x squared plus 5. Next one. Perfect square. Perfect square. And that's your answer. Next page. This one is perfect cube. Perfect cube. You look up your formula. It would be this. And this is cube root. Don't forget your little 3 right there. So I'll just plug everything in. Now be careful because you got to take 2x squared. So the 2 is squared and the x is squared. So our answer is 2x minus 3. And 2 squared is 4. X squared is x squared. Plus 6x. And then plus 9. And that's our answer. Just using your formula, finding your A, finding your B, plugging it into the formula. Number 14, and I'm not going to do the bonus, but 14, the area of the rectangle is this. So I draw a rectangle. Its width is x plus 3. What's its length? Well, length times width. So we need x plus 3 times, oops, times something equals x squared plus 7x plus 12. So really what we need to do is we need to factor this. So we're going to do the x game. I don't know if I left myself enough space, so I'm going to just clear this out. So I'm just going to use the x game. Split the middle. So x plus 3 is my common factor here. What's left? X plus 4. So x plus 4 is my length. That's my other factor, because x plus 3 was already given. The end. Hope this helps. Good luck on your retake if you have to take it. Take it.